Alright, today we're going to be learning how to create these particles. Now we're going to be creating these with logic bricks and animations, so we're not using Python or anything. They are not technically particles, they are objects, but they work for what we want, and I'm sure you could expand this and make cooler stuff. Now we're starting off with this basic scene right here, which is just a kind of a glow texture wrapped onto a plane with a transparency. So I'm just going to disable this color because we want to use the color from the object. So this diffuse color, we want to use that, and later on we're actually going to be using the object color. It's a little weird that there's multiple color things, but we wanted this to point at the player at all times. So the way we can do this is we want to change that to halo, and then we want to rotate this on so it's pointing at the X direction. X, so it's a red direction. As you see, it is pointing that direction. So what you see now is wherever we are, it's always pointing at us, and this is exactly what you want for a particle. So we're going to go ahead down this material until we find the object color. So down there you see object color. So this is going to allow it to use object color as well. So if you don't know what the object color is, this is the diffuse color of the material. What is the object color? If you come over here, you'll see we have the object color here. Now we can change this to something like red, and what it's done, it's actually changing the material. A bit hard to see here, but it is changing the material even if you can't see it, and this works great with the game engine. So we can animate this and do a bit more advanced things than we can with just a normal one. So we can change this to a different color and then click I and animate the again. So this is just like animating your materials. This is pretty basic stuff. Alright, so when it starts off, we want it to be completely transparent, and we want it to change color, and then let's just say fade back into nothing. So we can delete and add it without any, just seamlessly deleting and adding it basically. So this would be great for smoke or something. I'm sure people can come up with creative things for it. So now that we've got this working, we want to add some logic to it. So what we want to go ahead and do is we want to go up to here and we're going to change this to game logic. We want to change this to textured, and we want to go ahead and add sensor. This is going to be an always, and we're just going to call it play, because whenever we play the game, whenever this particle is added, it's going to do this. We're going to be playing an animation. Make sure we have this particle selected. Alright, and we're going to select plane, and frames were at 60, I believe, so I actually typed in that wrong, so we can change that to 60. Alright, and now what you'll see is it will go and disappear. So our particle is finished with the material part, so we can call this play as well. We just want to kind of make it into a particle system, so we want to actually give it a bit of up motion as well. So you go 0.1, that might actually be a bit too fast. Yep, so you go 0.01. That is the more speed we want. Right. So it isn't the most beautiful particle system, but it should be fine. Alright, so what you see though is when it goes up and when it disappears, it's still there, and that's not what we want. So what we want to do is we want to create a new property, and we're going to change this to integer, and we're going to call this timer. The integer point's the most important, the name's not so much, just so you can find it. So we're going to grab timer, right, and we're going to add a property, and this is timer is equal to 80, and we're going to go 80, 80, alright. Then we want to end the object. Alright, so actually I believe the animation was 60 frames, so this is not going to work. You see, so if we go into wireframe, this is not actually going to work. So we'll just fix it in just a second. See, it's not working. So if you look here, yep, 60. So we're going to change this down to 60, and this should work now. Right? There we go. Yep, it's deleted. And we can change this back to 60. Alright, so now it's all done. So if we press play, it goes. When it fades off, it deletes as well, so we don't have more of that processing power being used up. We can change this to glow. That should be a good name. We can move this to a second layer. We want to create an empty. And what this empty is going to be, it's our emitter. You can choose whatever type you like. Single arrow will be fine for me. It's just kind of visual representation. What type it is doesn't really matter. Alright, so we're going to add a random. There's different ways of doing random, but this one is pretty simple and it'll be fine for me today. So there we go. This should be fine for what we're doing anyway. So we want to, yep, everything's fine there. We want to add a, not an action. We want to add a edit object, and this is going to be an add object. And we want to get that glow. Now we have this handy little eye picker tool. Eyedrop picker or something, I can't remember what it's called, but that little tool where you can just click on what you want and it'll select it. Now it has a little bit of problem with picking transparent stuff, and you'll just go and pick it by hand. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab this and come back here, and there we go, glow. Now what you see is we're just randomly adding an all, and there is our particle system already doing something cool. So we want to go ahead, so we want to select this if we can, selecting it so it's fully selected. There we go. We're going to scale this down. It might be a bit small. Depends on your purposes, but now you can see we have the basis of our particle system. This can be used for a lot of other things, but this is going to be the basis of your particle system. You're going to be able to use this for many different things. I'm sure if you just think of some ways, you could create some cool smoke or something. If you use multiply or something with textures, then you can have this then multiplying on top of that and have like a smoke texture which changes to from smoke to fire or something. But if you want to find more tutorials like this, you can subscribe on YouTube or find more on blenderreal.com. But if you make anything cool, please post that in the comments down below or somewhere as well that I can see, because I'd love to see what you come up with. But I'm sure you can create something awesome with this. Have a great day, keep blendering.